of history photography. Today we are looking for the camera obscure. The first man who has documented the principle of the camera obscure, his name Mozi. He is Chinese philosopher, is the first person on record to have thought of the principles of the camera obscure. Around 400 BC, proposed that images could be projected through an aperture or hole. Although he never created an actual camera obscure that anyone knows of, he understood the principles of light which made the obscure possible. Next, we came to Aristotle. Not long after the Greek philosopher Aristotle had proposed the optical principles of a pinhole camera, otherwise known as the camera obscure. Once again, although Aristotle wrote extensively on the subject of light and optics which were necessary of the building of the camera obscure or a theoretical camera, he did not make an obscure himself. Then he came Ibn al-Haytham al-Hussein. Then came Ibn al-Haytham, most commonly known as al-Hussein. Al-Hussein was Egyptian philosopher and mathematician who discovered many things surrounding optics. He confirmed that light is a ray and moves in a direct line. In addition, he wrote that unlike the Greek philosopher had once thought, light was not emitted from the eye. He published many books on optics and studied it extensively. In addition to Al-Hussein's extensive research on optics, he was the first known person to actually create a camera obscure. This was a large dark room with only one small pinhole allowing light in. Through that pinhole, an upside-down image was projected onto the opposite wall. This was a major discovery and the first known camera. This was not a camera as we think of one today, because it did not preserve or keep the image but projected it. Finally, there is another man, his name Leonardo da Vinci. Da Vinci studied Al-Hussein's work on optics and created a more complex and detailed written description of it and in Codex Atlanticus, a book he published about optics in 1502. He was also an artist, and like many artists who worked from as early as 1300 all the way until the modern camera was invented, he used a camera obscure to help draw and paint perfect perspective in his work of art. What was the camera obscure? The idea of the camera obscure is simple. When light converges through a pinhole into a dark room or chamber, it will project an image onto the opposite wall of the pinhole. The image that is projected is simply whatever is upside down and backwards. As time progressed, smaller versions of the camera obscure were made, and that made a tool that artists could take with them anywhere to help in creating their work. Camera obscure is a German word and means darkened room. John Heinrich Schultz in 1724, Johann discovered that exposing silver compounds to light could cause the compounds to reflect an image wherever the light had touched. It was this discovery in combination with the camera obscure which paved the way for invention of the photography. But it will not be for another 100 years before the actual photograph as we know it today will be invented. However, it was this long back. This is the diagram of the camera obscures and how it works. That's all for today. Thank you.